All right, everybody. We're on our first undrafted interview with our first guest, Quincy Harding. Quincy,
How you doing?
Yep. I call him Coach Q, even though he's a lot younger than I am.
Yeah.
Q and I met each other about 3 or 4 years ago doing basketball camps and working with youth and helping individuals get better for the love of the game that we love. And I wanted to highlight Q because I've known him now for a couple of years and he's overcome a lot of things, and I'm going to let you tell your story, but right now he's a professional basketball player in Romania. And so can you give us kind of an idea of how you started, where you're at, kind of like the coach's corner?
Like how I started playing basketball, or
You
just
started
like
playing basketball and sprinkle in, I know some of the details with you of some of the incidences that you've been through that could have stopped you from pursuing your dream of playing basketball.
Okay. Well, I mean, as a young kid, I was with my mom. I moved from the Colorado Springs to Denver area, and I was around my uncles a lot that also played basketball. They went to college and did their thing and stuff. So I was always around them, shooting at the park. You know what I'm saying? I just fell in love with the game. So then, um, so there was stuff was going on with my mother, you know what I mean, that she just wasn't able to take care of us at the time. So we went back to live with my dad for a minute, and then so I went to high school in Colorado Springs, and a lot of people don't know, like I was only what 5'3", 5'4" my freshman year of high school. Freshman year of high school, was small, probably like 90 pounds soaking wet. But you know, I loved basketball, but I just wasn't good at it. But I always had desire to play, and the work ethic to always become better. So I mean, freshman year of high school, I was um freshman player. Didn't play a lot. Probably play like 5, maybe 10 minutes a game on the freshman C squad team at Harrison. Sophomore year, I was still playing C squad, but still wasn't playing. Junior year came around, like, you know, I had some eye-opening experiences with some people that like made me want to just become better. You know what I mean? So my junior year of high school, I think I grew to probably like 5'8", maybe 5'10", but I always I made a promise to myself that I was going to become better because I knew my time was starting to tick, just because, you know, I only had 2 more years of college. I mean, 2 years of high school, and I wanted to become a college player. You know what I mean? I wanted to become a D1 player, but, you know, it didn't work out that way. But so I was always at the park catching the train. I mean, catching the bus 5:30 or so in the morning to my high school. My high school gym, my high school coach, Al Blanc, opened the gym up for us at Harrison High School. I get in there at 6 a.m. My goal was to make like 250 shots per morning, and we started school at 8 o'clock on the dot. So I'll be in there 2 hours earlier getting reps and reps. So then my junior year of high school, I ended up making the second league all team in my high school. I made the all-star team, all that good stuff. I was second league scorer in our league with like 18, 19 points a game or something like that. So then going into my senior year, the same amount of work was still going, still catching the bus at 5:30 in the morning, you know, just doing. I started incorporating a little bit of weights into my routine, just because I knew, like, you know, like if I'm going to play college, I got to become strong. You know, I'm still small, like, you know. So I started incorporating weights with it more. And so my senior year, I ended up killing. I was averaging like 23 a game, but I was still small. I was only like, I think I grew like maybe 5'10" or whatever. So I only had one college offer coming out of high school, and that was Otero Junior College. So obviously,
Rattlers, huh?
yeah, the Rattlers, yeah. So I ended up going there, and I think there, um, Coach Reed's a great guy. You know, he really helped me mature. Cause I was only 17 when I went to Otero. I was the youngest guy on the team. Everybody, there was guys on the team 20, 21. You know what I mean? I'm only 17, and so I took the weight serious. Like, I was always in the weight room. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get big. I was the smallest player on the team. You know what I mean? I was only 6 foot at the time. But I kind of felt like, I let my pride get in the way. Like, I felt like I was just as good, if not better, than some of the guys on the team, but I wasn't experienced because, that age factor came in, So I didn't play at all. I chose not to redshirt because I thought I could work my way into playing. It just never worked because, like I just wasn't ready for that type of level yet.
Did,
So
did you still have the same work ethic at Otero as you did in high school, or
oh yeah, oh
did you kind of like let off the gas or let your immaturity take over?
oh no, it was like I always had the same work ethic and stuff, but like at that age you think you know everything, you feel like you should be, so that played a little bit role in it. So it's like I always had was having bad attitudes about certain situations I shouldn't have. I should just stayed on the right path, just stayed focused and trusting the coaching staff, you know what I mean? But I kind of took the role where I thought I knew everything, you know what I mean? So I was working out. Like me and my boy Josh Blaylock, I was there at the time. We would shoot 1,000 shots a night on the gun at Otero. Like I always knew how to finesse like the gym situation. Like I will always become cool with the janitors. You know what I mean? Like I'll come to the janitors, just ask how they doing. You know what I'm saying? Just because nobody really respects the janitors. You know what I mean? They just think they're janitors. But I was always the one to go out of my way to make sure how they're doing. So they always, when you build them type of bonds with them type of people, they're willing to do anything. Because what I'm saying, don't nobody talk to the janitors. You know what I mean? So when I did that, they were willing to, hey, if you need to get in the gym, I'll leave the back door open for you for an extra hour. You know what I mean? Just make sure you shirt and you're done. So boom, always like that. So me and Josh being there, like I said, 1,000 shots a night. Like we both making 500 shots on the gun every single night, even during the season.
Yeah.
And stuff. Just trying to keep getting better, just learning from him. Because he was one of those older guys that was really good. You know what I mean? So one thing hit another. I just I just didn't think it was the right situation, which it was. But I just made a bonehead decision, being young and not knowing. So I ended up leaving Otero Junior College and went to a community college in Oregon and went there. I didn't play. Didn't play at all. I didn't play at all. And then that same year, the second day of school, I was in a school shooting or whatever. And that day was like the most eye-opening thing for me because almost having your life took from you, and then being able to like go through that and realize, like life is too short to be stressing about things you can't control. You know what I mean? Like, and so from that day forward, I try to start becoming a better person and just a better man overall to friends, family, and people. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to start carrying the same personality on the court, off the court as well. So like it was important for me to have the same work ethic that I have on the court, off the court. And what I mean by that is, you know, um, I made sure I would take 5-10 minutes out of the day to call my people, make sure they're good. You know what I'm saying? Being nice to people. You know what I mean? Because it's like, God doesn't like ugly people. He likes people that's nice to others. So, and I realized that like man, like not necessarily saying I was a messed up person, but I just wasn't the nicest person. I always had a bad attitude and all that other stuff. So going through that type of stuff, it really made me open my eyes. Like, like I just got to start becoming a better person, a better man to start growing up. You know what I mean? Just because, when you're that young at age, you think you know everything. You think you're so tough, all of that. You know what I mean? Like, so,
that
so
was,
after.
I was going to say that when I saw you do your interview with the Romania newspaper, I didn't know that about you. Like, you and I have hung out a lot over the last couple summers at these camps and talking basketball. But when I saw that is one reason why I wanted to get you on the interview right away, because I didn't know you went through something like that. And that's such a hot topic with our society now that I didn't. Have you ever told us about that? Or was that something that you just didn't really want to talk about at the time?
About the like just becoming a better person
No,
factor.
the experience that you had in Oregon.
Oh, Oh yeah, the whole experience that we had in Oregon, like I don't know, Fish. Like it's just, that was just one of them experiences I just like really just kind of like kept on the low, just because like that day, like it just brings back so many bad memories. You know what I mean? Just seeing that type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
every time, like But I don't shame when people ask. I tell them how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I don't hold back none of it. You know what I mean? Like it's not saying that it was necessarily that something I needed to go through, but I'm kind of glad I went through it because it really changed my life on other aspects. You know what I mean?
So so since that point then everything kind of changed for you just in a whole different like life perspective and helping others and appreciating what
Yeah,
you have.
yeah. This I just I started to express more gratitude. You know what I mean? Like, cause like I said, when you go through something like that, you realize you stressing and worried about all the wrong things that you can't even control. You know what I mean? So, and it's like I started to become more like a better person, try to be more spiritually sounded. Not saying I'm trying to be like a godly Christian, but just more spiritually sounded. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And that's all carried over into everything that you do now, because the one thing
exactly.
I tell people about you all the time is I knew you'd make it no matter what because of your work ethic. Because we'd get to the gym at what 6 a.m. in the morning, and then
Yeah,
then we got camp from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and you're in
yeah,
there getting up 2.5 hours of workouts.
yeah.
Did that work ethic and then what you went through, your appreciation for the love of life and basketball, then did that push you just that much harder to make it to where you are today?
Yeah, exactly. Because I kind of feel like um a lot of people put their dreams and stuff on the back burner and let money get in the way of that. You know what I mean? People are not willing to go through certain things and fail at a lot of things just because people just aren't connected with failure. You know what I mean? Like I always said, like on I always seen like on the other side of failure is success. You know what I mean? And you got to be willing to take that fall and what I'm saying, and willing to go through certain things in your life in order to get the things that you love and desire. You know what I mean?
So do you think all the, our basketball history is a little bit alike, but just jumping school to school. Um, so can you tell me a little bit about your experience, and don't say, you know, what happened with Western and then how that molded you to where you are now with and
Yeah,
playing in Romania, what that process was, because that was, I know from being a friend of yours over the last couple of years and watching that was a difficult transition for you.
yeah, it was because it was like, um, cause like so after I left or that Oregon school, I didn't have no offers. You know what I mean? Cause I never played. The coaching staff just never had any like trust in me. You know what I mean? So I literally had no offers. At all. So coming back home at the time, like I didn't know what I was gonna do next, but I know I wanted to go play at any school at that point. I didn't care. I just wanted to just hoop. So I mean, I didn't get another offer till like a whole year later. You know what I mean? That whole year I was bounced. I was working at Carl's Jr. You know what I mean? My auntie helped me out get a job just so I can have some money in my pocket. But like I was still going to the gym, still doing all that stuff, and it's like a lot of people like, man, why are you doing all this and you working at College Junior? You know what I mean? And it's like, 'cause I seen something that they didn't see. You know what I mean? And I knew that I was still a college player. That I wasn't going to give up just because I was going through something in that lifetime. You know what I mean? So when I got that call from Western, you know what I mean? I was ready. I was 100% ready. You know what I mean? And so when I got there, you know what I mean? I redshirted. Well, I got there like halfway through their season, so I redshirted. So then the following year, I was a junior there. I did my thing. It was a tough transition, like not playing uh for a whole year and a half. I didn't play like a lick of organized basketball like that. So, but I ended up getting better throughout the year. I ended up making the all Automatic one of the all Automatic teams as my junior year. Then senior year comes around. I'm killing. Like I'm averaging like 24, 25 a game. We beat the number 4 team in the country, West Texas A&M. We competed with the number 17 team in the country. I think I had like 30 something that game. And then it was a spiral after we took some tough L's, and then by the time we came back from Christmas break, some things happened, you know what I mean? So I ended up getting kicked off the team, you know what I mean? For whatever reason, I still don't know to this day, you know. But I and that's why I was telling you about earlier, that whole falling down thing and willing to get back up, because you know I feel like if anybody else was in my position, they would have just gave up, just like, you know what I mean. Even though there was times where like I thought it was over, Fish, like I really thought it was over, like, you know what I mean. I thought like I was just gonna get this degree and just try to just figure something out, but you know, but like it was still that drive and still that, you know, that stuff that I wanted to do. Like I knew I was a professional basketball player, and I wanted to be a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
So that will and drive never gave up. You know what I mean? I remember I took 1 week off just to get my mental right, just to get my mind back right. I was broke, bro. Like I remember I called my granny when it happened. I called my granny and my mama and just told her, like, I'm on the phone crying, like I don't know what I was gonna do. So my granny always told me, like, you know, you've been through this before, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's no different. So you gonna get through it. You know, I believed her because my granny ain't never lied. My granny always knew the best in me. So, like I said, I took that 1 week off just to get my mental back right, and I just went right back to work.
No. Is she? I know she passed. Is
Yeah,
she motivating you now through this whole Romania thing? Are you more connected now with your mom and your family being overseas and
yeah,
that experience?
yeah. I mean, like I always had a great relationship with my uncles, my mama, my brothers. You know what I mean? Because they was the ones that was always there for me emotionally when I was going through all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said before, like I mentioned before, like my mom was going through a bunch of stuff that a lot of people that don't know. You know what I mean? And kind of like something, you know, like that we talked about. She was going through the same thing, and so after, because around the time like she almost lost her life too due to like drinking and driving, you know what I mean, because she had a real bad alcohol problem, real bad, you know what I mean, from stuff that affected her prior years to it. So around the time where she almost lost her life, and it was around the same time where I got kicked off the team. So, you know, like we both made a promise to each other that we wasn't gonna give up on each other. So that made us stronger, you know what I mean? Yeah, but at that point, Fish, like that point, it really made me realize that it was more than me at that point. It was more to me. And this basketball at that point is I realized that I got people depending on me now to get to be the best me I can and get to the highest levels of this basketball thing I can, because I got people that's depending on me that I'm trying to get back to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how's this first year of pro basketball going over in Romania, and how's your confidence? Because
Uh,
this is a big deal. I mean,
yeah,
you're doing something I always wished I could have.
yeah,
And like for me to see you doing this and all that you've overcome, like I'm proud to be your friend because I know how hard you've worked and you get to live this experience, and now you've got others depending on you. Like, how is the process of being a one of the only two Americans on the team, or is there three now?
it's three. Yeah, it's Romania. I think you're allowed three Americans.
Three. So
Yeah.
what's that experience like? And then also being away from your moms and all the stuff that you guys have built together now since the incident that happened at Western.
Yeah. So Romania is cool. Like, not gonna lie, Eastern Europe is behind on a lot of things. Like, they're behind on a lot of things. But the basketball factor it's decent. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's physical. It's more physical than I thought it was gonna be. Um, one thing I have been learning though, like the physicality of the game and this pro level is more decision making and mismatches more than anything. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm starting to realize. You know what I mean? Like the decision making has to be that much quicker. You know what I mean? And you have a little bit of airspace to do anything. You know what I mean? So with me starting to get that glued down to my game, it's starting to get my game even more and more better. So you know what I mean? So and that's what it's all about. Just and my confidence is growing just because I'm still in the gym when I can be. You know what I mean? Still getting up to things that you know what I mean. I started out the year struggling. You know what I mean? 'Cause I didn't, rookie year coming in, you don't know what to expect. But I was working on things that was factored to my game because they brought me in to be a scorer. So I'm constantly talking to the coach like, okay, where are my points or scoring? What type of you know what I mean? So um, so I'm still doing a bunch of shots so I get within the offense. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
I looked at your stats this morning, and the last 5 games that you've been playing, your minutes have gone up, and you're averaging like 6 or 7 more points a game.
mhm,
So you can see even from just the statistical standpoint, like your confidence is growing. And
mhm,
I looked at some of your highlights last night. They got one of your latest games posted. So I'm
mhm,
going to include that clip in here, when I post this, but um, like you can just see how much, just from a number standpoint, how much better and more confident you're getting because, you know, people don't realize it's not just about basketball. It's about adapting to that whole entire Eastern, you know,
yeah,
Romania and the whole lifestyle where you're in a foreign country and it's not just
yeah,
about basketball. You don't know what's going on over there.
no, not at all. Yeah, no, you're right. It's like a lot of people think it's overseas basketball is different. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean different, like the basketball thing is different, but like the lifestyle, like you said, is different. You know what I mean? You gotta go to stores and talk to people that don't speak no English. You know what I mean? You gotta work with teammates that barely speak. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much stuff that people don't even know, and it's like at times it's easy to give up just because like the lifestyle is different. You know what I mean? It's a whole different lifestyle you have to get adjusted to. You got to get adjusted to the food. You know what I mean? You got to eat. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff is different. It's cool though, man. I can't even lie. It's I like it because I like experiencing different things. You know what I mean? Like experiencing different things is always nice to me, at least.
Yeah. So what are your two favorite things over there right now that you've never experienced before? Whether it's the food, the culture, like what are the two really cool things that are like standing out, and then what are two things that you just can't stand?
Oh, okay. Two things I like from a food standpoint. Um, they don't have no processed foods at all. They cook everything from ground up. You know what I mean? They don't have no even like their McDonald's out here. They cook. There's no processed things at all. So that's one of the things I like. And then the other thing I like, probably out here. It's probably just like how they support Americans. Like they love Americans out here, man. Like it's like they showed me so much love out here, bro. Like I see why a lot of people like you know what I'm saying. Like of course like the NBA is like the ultimate goal, but like I see why a lot of players are starting to come over here and play at those highest league levels over here just because that support system is crazy. Like they love Americans. You know what I mean? They hold you to a whole different higher standard. If you're meeting those standards, they treat you like God. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I love about it, like, for real. And
Uh,
then the things I don't like, the time difference for sure. The time difference I do not like. Um, and then another thing I don't like is just they, like I said, they're just so far behind on stuff. Like they're like 10 years behind on so many stuff. Like you know what I mean? Like technology, all that stuff. Like and then when you run into those things that like are like updated they're gonna tax you for it because like they don't. It's not really that popular over here yet in Eastern Europe. Western Europe you might find better, but like Eastern Europe they're not really up to date yet.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was one thing I was kind of worried about, like doing this interview with you, was whether or not you were going to have enough Wi-Fi and and being able
yeah,
to get it. But
yeah,
because I've heard the stories that there's certain areas where you don't have anything, and it's just a gym and locals.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I always say, like, when I tell players like that go overseas, like, you generally want to be in the European area, because like European basketball is like the most respected basketball playing besides the U.S. You know what I mean? Because you got Spain, you got France, you got those type of countries in Europe that like NBA guys are coming out of. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, if I can tell someone that's getting ready to go overseas, try to be somewhere in Europe, because like if you play somewhere in Europe and you do your thing, not necessarily killing, but like you're doing your thing. I mean, teams are gonna realize that, and they're gonna pick you. You're more prone to get picked up easier that way, as opposed to you playing, I don't know, like some wild country, like, you know what I mean. It's not really respected. It's harder for you to get picked up by better teams. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. So what's been your biggest adjustment then, adapting from, your scattered NCAA career and
yeah,
college career to playing in a grown man's professional league? Is it just the size, the strength, the quickness in decision making?
yeah. So yeah, that's generally what it is. It's like, um, so like over here, like there is no excuse, because like you get paid to do this. You know what I mean? So they're counting on you to, like, they understand you're gonna have bad games. Bad games always happen, but like majority of the time, if they expect you to come in and be a scorer, they expect you to come in and do that. They don't allow you to, you know what I'm saying, have bad game after bad game. You know what I mean? Like, they don't allow that. They understand you're gonna have a bad game every once in a while, but like, if they're paying you to do something, you better do it at a good level. You know what I mean? Especially when you get to those higher leagues, because, you know what I mean. Like, they take that serious. And another thing is too, with European basketball, they don't go off politics over here. They go off straight what you can do and what you have proven to do, as opposed to like NBA. Like, the NBA is so much politics, like it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But like over here, like, if you put up the numbers in a league and you get put up and you still killing and you still like pursuing getting higher and stuff, like, you have a better chance against those higher leagues, as opposed to someone that's trying to get somewhere like in the G League. You know what I mean? That's trying to get to where those NBA teams, but you gotta fight politics and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's probably the best thing that I've been experiencing over here. Because like I said, like, if over here, like, if you're doing what you do well, like, so you're more prone to getting picked up. You know what I mean? And the more you do it, the more freedom you have within any team. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Um, we were talking about this right before, but can you give a little breakdown of how your playoffs is so much different than what ours is over here?
whew, man. So over here in Romania, um, we have a group A, which is like more the like the higher level. I mean, we're pretty much like kind of the same, but like they split up to like a higher team, like higher level seeding team, and then lower team. So my teams, we're in the B division. So the top group A, they have 6 teams. You know what I'm saying? That's top no, it's top 6. And then the bottom 2 from Group A come down to us, and then from Group B, it's just the top 4 teams that make it, and then those bottom teams from Group A come down and play us for the Romanian Championship League.
Yeah.
So how that work is, us 6 teams that made it, because like the Group A team, they're already qualified for the they're qualifying for the Romanian Cup Championship. That's after this championship uh, bracket play, or whatever they call it. So like for us, Group B, like now it's 6 of us. You have to be the top 2 in order to get bumped up into the Group A Romanian National Cup thing. So as opposed to like back in the States, like, you would be 6-6, you know what I mean, and you'll play like number 1 seed would play the 8 seed or 6 seed.
Yeah.
Then no, they don't do that over here. So like you play everyone twice, and pretty much whoever has the best record from that
Pool play.
go. Yeah, pool play, exactly. So whoever has the best record from the 6 teams, the top 2 teams go to the Romanian National Cup, whatever. And then those top teams, the 2 teams from here, go to that. The rest of the teams pretty much is, like you said, take a poll play, and they just do rankings from, you know what I'm saying, from the very first, whoever wins the national championship, Romania, all the way down to who was the absolute worst, pretty much.
That's cool.
So like exactly. So even if you don't make the top 2 teams, you're still gonna be playing for seeding. So a lot of these teams are bringing in other players, so their team doesn't be dead last. You know, if you dead last, you lose money, you lose sponsorship, just because, like, if anything, then nobody's gonna be paying for stuff that's losing. You know what I mean? Like, so that's pretty much how it goes over here in Romania. Yeah.
No, that's it's a whole different world. Not only basketball wise, but just, I mean, your living environment and not being able to speak the language.
Yeah.
So I wanna ask you about your who's your favorite player?
You know, Dame Dollar. You know, Dame Dollar. Dame Lillard.
61 the other day.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, 11 threes, killing.
I watched that next game, the first like quarter, where he hit that first three from like almost half court. He just pulled up and drained that dude's
one dribble and just pulled it.
I don't think you have that in your game, do you?
I have it, but I don't have the freedom to do it.
Oh,
yet.
Yeah. You gonna get that?
Yeah. Got to.
Are you coming back for the summer? Or are you gonna stay there?
Right now, agents. Me and my agent's trying to work on some stuff in Canada for over the summer. That's trying to so I can just keep playing, just keep getting experience, and keep building my resume. So we're working on trying to get me in the CEBL this summer.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be a goal for me this summer. I think that league is like 2 months. I think it's like from May to like July. It's something like that. I gotta look again, but like he's working on trying to get me into that. But if not, then I'm just gonna come back and just get back to the grind. Just start working on stuff to keep elevating my game. Pretty much.
Cool. I was just wondering that, you know, I was gonna have to give you buckets again this summer.
Man, here you go.
I'm just playing. I just started playing again. Really? Yeah, it's not pretty, but
I bet you still killing though.
I went I did this trip and got out of the car and I couldn't walk. So I ended up going to the doctor and finding out, you know, I told you I jacked up my back.
Your back, yeah.
Yeah. So they did like x-rays and stuff and found 2 herniated discs and degenerative spinal stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't play any defense, but I can still get shots up.
Yeah. So you're letting it fly.
I miss it. But I get to coach still. So I don't think I told you this. I had one of the events, I had an opportunity to take a head coaching job at a JUCO.
Really?
Yeah, and I turned it down. Yavapai. It's down in Arizona, but
okay.
It would have been like, you know how much I love hoops. It would have been so cool, but you know, this speaking career is so much more important to me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you desire. You know what I mean? That's what your heart in. You know what I mean?
So any last thoughts? And I'm gonna let you go. All that you've been through, from the experience in college to Oregon to being overseas, what are a couple of your learning points that you'd want people to take away from your story?
Really, you know, you just gotta be willing to. How I take it is, you know, you should, you know, a lot of people talk about having plan Bs, but then with me, I just say, like, you know, if you have a plan B, that means you don't have enough faith that plan A is going to work. You know what I mean? So a lot of people a lot of people think like, okay, I failed at this, so maybe it's not for me. You know what I mean? But if you look at all of the best people in their careers, like Oprah Winfrey, LeBron James, they all went through something in their life. You know what I mean? But they never ever stopped working for it. You know what I mean? Because they had that desire and they knew that that's what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? And um, for me, I just say like just find your passion, and just stick with it. You know what I mean? Because like just because you fail, you know what I mean, doesn't mean that it's over. You know what I mean? Because like I said, there's so many people that we look up to, and we look and like man, they went through a lot, but they never had that giving up factor. You know what I mean? And it's like one of my favorite motivation speakers. I don't know if you know him, but Inky Johnson. I watched Inky Johnson a little bit, and his story was like, it was really good one, because he had um what he was trying to accomplish was right there. You know what I mean? Then he went through something that was uncontrollable. Like you said, like he still goes to his life all happy and all that stuff just because, like, those are things you can't control. You know what I mean? But when God tells you no, are you still willing to work for something that's greater than you? You know what I mean? And like I said before, like you gotta have the same amount of passion that you have in your work career and your life too. You know what I mean? Like so what I mean by that is like when we get older, you know what I mean? Like the same amount of passion, the same work that I put into basketball, you gotta be able to put into your wife or your kids or your family, you know what I mean? Just because that's the type of energy and stuff that's needed just to be at a very high level. You know what I mean? Like, like if you're a great person in your work field, but you're a terrible husband, you know what I mean? Like what type of husband, like what type of person are you? You know what I mean? And that's just the biggest thing with me. Like I said, you just gotta be willing to have that same passion and other things outside of your workforce. You know what I mean?
Cool. Any
Hmm.
last thoughts? And I'll let you go so you can. What time is it over there? Like 5:30.
It is. Hold on, I gotta pause you real quick. I got it. It is six. It is 6:01.
Okay.
Yeah, 6:01.
Well, cool. Hey, thank you for doing this, Q. This is. I'm glad I got you to be the first undrafted guest. Um, just because
Oh, I really do.
over the last couple of years it's just been really great to watch you grow from all the struggles of not knowing where you're going to play in college to you're living your dream. You're playing professional basketball, and
Yeah,
you are a proven track record of if you put in the time and effort and you have a dream, you can accomplish it. And you
exactly.
you are a living, walking, breathing professional basketball player that has overcome all these obstacles. So I just want you to know, like, I appreciate it, and I've been watching it from up close, but also from afar, and just seeing how you've handled yourself. And
Hmm.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, man, just gotta put God first, and have a strong work ethic, and He gonna put you in situations that He feels like you're ready for.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, Q. We'll catch up. I'll let you know when this gets posted, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Appreciate you, Fish, man. Appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
Later.